Good morning. My name is Henrietta Wiggins, and I am the Vice Chair of the Tri-County SCORE chapter. I would like to welcome you to our virtual workshop, Recovery Continues, updates on small business administration programs and services, economic injury. Today's workshop is part 3 of our 5-part Women's Small Business Virtual Workshop series. 4 strategies to help your small business adjust to the new norm. SCORE is a national nonprofit organization with 350 chapters and over 13,000 members throughout the United States. SCORE is dedicated to helping small businesses start, grow, and succeed. We are a resource partner to the Small Business Administration. In collaboration with the following SCORE chapters, Tri-County, Bucks County, Westchester, and Delaware counties, we service all business owners and entrepreneurs throughout our counties. Our chapters are made up from members with experience in all areas of business. We offer free mentoring services as well as educational seminars and workshops. This webinar will close sharply at 10 a.m. this morning. Please use the chat feature and Q&A features to log on your questions. The workshop will be recorded and all PowerPoint slides will be emailed to you at the close of this event. Our speakers for today's workshop will be Kim Stout and Jennifer Tilden. Good morning, ladies. It's a pleasure to have you here. Our first speaker will be Kim. Kim is the Economic Development and Lender Specialist at the Small Business Administration in Philadelphia office since October 2013. In her current duties, she is responsible for promoting the SBA lending program and maintaining a network of collaborative partners to assist, promote, and protect small businesses. In her role, she has trained and mentored small business owners and inspiring entrepreneurs on how to start and operate a small business, focusing on business planning, marketing, and financial assistance. Kimberly gained extensive small business experience while owning and operating her own restaurant. Good morning, Kimberly. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you so much for having us, Henrietta. I appreciate it. So as Henrietta said, my name is Kim Stout. I'm with the SBA, and we're here today to give you updates on information that we have. Well, the information I'm going to share pretty much has been around for the last couple of months. My colleague Jen Tilden is here and going to give you updates on what's happening with government contracting. I'm going to briefly go over the disaster relief programs as they are today. With that being said, however, I do want you to know that we are waiting for additional information out of Congress and the federal government. So what I'm saying today is true as of today, and hopefully we'll be hearing more updated information as the week continues. The Small Business Administration is a federal agency that supports small businesses. We usually help businesses start, grow, expand, and recover. Since mid-March, I would say that 90% of our time has been helping small businesses recover during this pandemic. As I have here on my slide, this is current information as of December 15th, which was yesterday when I updated my slides. It still holds true for today. With this being said, I would encourage you to continue to work with SCORE, one of our SBA resource partners. As we get additional information, SCORE will get that information out to you as well as through our office. Besides working with SCORE through today's pandemic and trying to recover, obviously you have been joining us for these series of seminars focused on women entrepreneurs, as well as other entrepreneurs over the last several weeks. Today, we're going to focus on disaster assistance, the women-owned small business certification, government contracting opportunities, but I would highly encourage you to continue working with a SCORE mentor so that you can continue to have a viable, strong business and get through 2020 and hopefully have a successful 2021. Besides SCORE, we do have our other small business resource partners, our small business development centers, our women's business centers, and our veterans business outreach centers. All 4 of these organizations are funded through the Small Business Administration, and all of them are here to support you during the pandemic, after the pandemic, in the future, in the past, whatever we can do to make sure that you are successful, these organizations are here to support you. Today, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan is still open. If you have not applied for this disaster loan yet, you may still do so. I would encourage you to do it as soon as possible. When the pandemic was announced as a federal disaster back in March, the original declaration stated that the Economic Injury Disaster Loan would be open until December 31st. As of this moment, that is still true. So if you have not applied yet, I would encourage you to do so. This is a working capital loan available for small businesses, small agricultural businesses, and aquacultural businesses. At this point in time, most nonprofit organizations, faith-based organizations, and houses of worship are also eligible for our loan program through the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, and small sole proprietors and independent contractors are also eligible to apply as well. If you are a property owner of a rental or of a rental property, you may also apply for the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. This is the one time that the SBA loans money directly to our small businesses. You do not go through a bank to apply. The program at the COVID-19 relief.sba.gov/numeral// that's where the application is. There's no obligation to take the loan if you are approved. We're only taking collateral for loans over $25,000. The collateral is going to be a blanket UCC-1 filed against your business collateral. We're not taking personal assets, and we're only taking personal guarantees of loans greater than $200,000. At this time, the maximum loan is $150,000, so that does not apply at this point. If you have an existing disaster loan from a previous disaster, not through the COVID pandemic, you are able to apply for this loan. If you have already applied for the Economic Injury Disaster Loan because of COVID, you are not eligible for a second loan at this time. Again, the application is found on the website provided there, COVID-19 relief.sba.gov. It only takes a few minutes. It's a pretty short, streamlined application. Filling out your information. Please remember, to fill out the information accurately and correctly. We've run into a couple of hiccups with some of the loans with people putting in wrong business information, incorrect EIN numbers, wrong bank account information, things like that. So please make sure you take the time to double check the application that you submit. Make sure the information is accurate and correct for your business. So that it can be processed as quickly as possible. If you have any inquiries about your application, whether you're currently just applying now or if you have applied, you need to reach out to the SBA Customer Service Center at 800-659-2955, or you can submit inquiries to Disaster Customer Service at sba.gov. Those are the two ways to connect to the Office of Disaster Assistance. Both Jen and I work for the Eastern Pennsylvania District Office, and we are unable to access the Office of Disaster Assistance systems, so we cannot get updated information about applications. You have to reach out to customer service directly, either by phone or by email. The other program that was implemented because of COVID was our Paycheck Protection Program. And if you received this loan back in April, I think it closed August 8th, you might want to be considering your forgiveness process at this point in time. And I'm just going to briefly go over how you actually move forward with the forgiveness application. Here are some facts. This presentation is going to be going out to those that are on the call today, so don't feel like you have to jot this information down. There will be a follow-up email with our PowerPoints for you. So with the Paycheck Protection Loan forgiveness process, what you need to do is after you have used the funds over your 8-week or your 24-week 24 weeks that you applied to use this funding, you're going to start looking forward to putting in the application for forgiveness. You were supposed to be using these funds for payroll, rent, utilities, or mortgage interest. That's what the use was for. If you use the loan funds for those loan proceeds, then you can move forward with the application of forgiveness. You're going to pull up the application. It is available on SBA.gov. You're going to do the calculations, complete the application, making sure that you use the instructions with the document. It is the borrower's responsibility to do the calculations. So you want to go back to look what you asked for originally, how you calculated, and use those, use the instructions on the application for forgiveness to calculate everything that you are going to submit. Only properly document the expenses that you've used during the covered or the alternative covered period. And then what you're going to do is present the application to the bank with the required documents. So if you used 100% of your Paycheck Protection Program loan for payroll over an 8-week period, what you're going to do is complete the application, pull the documentation from your small business that shows that you used it for payroll, whether that be from your payroll company, bank statements, QuickBooks, whatever systems you may use, pull that documentation and then submit it to the bank. You must submit the application to the bank. This is not something that you can submit directly to SBA. You're going to submit it to the bank that you took the loan from, and then they are going to review the application that you submit to them. They're going to make sure that everything is in order, and then they are going to they're going to review your application, and they're going to determine the level of forgiveness that they're going to offer to you. So if you used, going back to my example, if you used your Paycheck Protection Program loan for 100% towards payroll, you complete the application, you show your documentation for payroll, you submit all of that to the bank that you've applied with, they're going to review it. If everything looks legitimate, they're going to request 100% forgiveness, and then they are going to take your application and submit it to SBA. SBA will then be the second eyes to that loan application forgiveness and make the decision. They have 90 days to remit the decision, and then they will inform the bank if yes, you got 100% forgiveness, or if you are, you have a different level of forgiveness. But again, if you use the loan accordingly and have done everything, all ducks are in the row, you should not have any problem getting the forgiveness for your loan. We are, as I said in the very beginning, awaiting new additional information from the federal government. Any more information that comes out, you might hear about it on the news, but to get accurate information, you want to continue to visit us at sba.gov/coronavirus. That is where all of the information is about our disaster programs, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, the Paycheck Protection Program that sunsetted back in August, any new information, any new disaster programs that may come out as well. You can also follow us on Twitter. This is SBA Eastern Pennsylvania District Office. That's where Jen and I are from. Any new information will also be released on our Twitter account as well. You can also go to my website there, our district office website, sba.gov/PA. You have the opportunity to sign up for email updates by visiting us on our website. and any additional information released will be announced through those emails. So there's lots of avenues to get updated, accurate information, and we're hoping that you do follow us so that we can continue to support the businesses as the pandemic continues. Hopefully we can close out 2020 and move into 2021 with a better year ahead of us. So I'm going to hand it over to Jen at this point in time. And I know at the end we'll be taking questions. So I appreciate your attention this morning.
Thank you, Kimberly. Lots of information, lots of knowledge about the EIDL loan and the PPP information. Everyone's a little quiet out there on questions and answers, so we have an opportunity to have two good experts in front of us. So please submit your questions, and they're here to give you an opportunity to answer them. So next, we do have Jen. Jen, good morning and welcome. And I would like to give you a little information about her background. Jen is the Supervisory Business Opportunity Specialist for Eastern PA, New Jersey, and Delaware. Jen has been with the federal government for more than 10 years. She has an impressive list of accolades, including being the head of the 8A program for the state of Georgia, working with the technology procurement team of the Army Contracting Command at Aberdeen Proving Ground in Maryland. She previously served as Deputy Small Business and Native American Program Manager for the Army Corps of Engineers. Jen, welcome, and we would love to hear what you have for us this morning. Thank you for being a part of our program. I know it was last minute, but we are so happy to have you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Henrietta. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I am going to give you a very quick 50,000-foot view of the many, many changes we've had recently to our woman-owned small business contracting program. And there have been a lot. So I am just warning you all right now. Let me share my screen right now. One moment, please. Share screen. There we go. We are sharing and woman-owned small business. And again, you are going to get a copy of all these slides. Anything I do belongs to the taxpayer. So please remember, I have hyperlinks within all these slides. If you have any questions, my information is at the end. You can always reach out to me anytime. You've already paid for my services, so please never think that you're bothering me. I made a career choice at one point to leave the legal profession to turn down a very lucrative lobbying job to come to the government to help businesses like yours. And like we were just talking about a few minutes ago with Kim, as I'm sure you're aware, with COVID, a great idea in many cases might be right now to become involved with federal contracting, because regardless of what happens with the commercial market, the government still buys stuff. The Army needs food regardless of what happens to the commercial market. The government still buys chairs regardless of what happens to the commercial market. In a lot of cases, federal contracting can be a great way to diversify your portfolio, because regardless of what happens with things like COVID, unfortunately, we have continued to buy and we have continued to pay even when a lot of these other businesses have gone out of business. And particularly if you're able to switch over to making something like, say, PPE, we are starting to buy things like janitorial, PPE, and things like that, even more than we have ever before. In terms of the certification process changes, I know we have loads of questions. The new free, please remember it should be free, certification process is now online. That is a hyperlink, ladies and gents. Please just click the hyperlink from the slides you're going to be getting, or just write to me for the hyperlink. It should be .gov. If you don't see .gov, it may be a third-party company trying to charge you to do something that should be free. If you have a question, please speak to me as the US government, or please speak to a SCORE counselor. They can help you make sure that you're going through the process correctly so that you don't get rooked into paying loads of money for something that should be free. The old self-certification option from the old platform is gone. If you were previously self-certified as either a woman-owned business or an economically disadvantaged woman-owned business, you have to go back into the system, grab all your documents, and put them into the new system. You only have until the 31st of March next year to do that, or the grandfathering is over and you have to start all over. But those documents have to be pulled out. They don't automatically come across. There is a free user guide. Please don't panic. If you're doing this for some reason at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're up putting the kids' toys together for the holidays, you think, why don't I do paperwork since I can't sleep anyway? There is a user's guide. That is a direct hyperlink. You can always find the user's guide 24 hours a day. It gives you a great deal of information on almost every problem that you can get yourself into with the new improved certified.sba.gov. I want to warn everybody in advance about this because I'm going to be honest, I got broadsided by this in a class a while ago, and I don't want you to be as embarrassed as I was. There is a change coming in not that far an amount of time. The DUNS number is going away as an identifier for the United States government in government contracting. We are going to be transforming, moving on to something new called a UEI, a Unique Entity Identifier. There is more information available through GSA and a number of other certified, genuine United States government websites. Please, again, make sure to look for .gov. This has been delayed. This is not an immediate action, but please be aware if you hear rumors that the government is getting rid of DUNS numbers as an identifier. That is true for federal contracting. I will be able to give you additional information. That is not some crazy rumor. I heard this, I thought the person was crazy. Turns out to be true. This is coming. So be aware, ladies and gents, this is out on the horizon as well. You may hear still going on the discussion of third-party certification versus self-certification for woman-owned business contracting. I get frequently a question about why would one do third-party certification, which usually costs money, versus why would one self-certify? Generally, I find the quickest and easiest answer to that being, if your only intention is to work within the United States federal government as a woman-owned small business, you're fine with self-certification. However, if you have an idea in the future that you may want to take another path. Any of these can represent different choices that you might make for your business. You might, for example, choose to work with the city of Philadelphia. You might, for example, choose to work with a different state. You might, for example, choose to work as a subcontractor to a defense contractor or another major vendor. Any of these additional entities that you choose to work with may require a third-party certification. And that third-party certification document may then be a key aspect. So when deciding whether or not to pony up that money, please think, is it just for the federal government that I'm making this decision? Or am I making this business decision to possibly look at contract opportunities as a subcontractor, as a vendor for the Commonwealth, as a vendor for other states, as a vendor for other countries, as a vendor for other cities, counties, municipalities, whatever the choice is. And that may be the driving question that chooses whether or not you go with, say, I'm sorry, the El Paso Hispanic Chamber of Commerce or WeBank or something like that, as opposed to making the self-certification decision. All of the new rules and new rules as they roll out, because everything's always changing. And as everyone knows, we have a new administration coming in January. The rules may be updated, change, in some way be affected. This is, again, a hyperlink, and I can send folks the link. On our website, we always have the newest, latest, greatest rules available on our woman-owned business federal contracting program. So you can always find out the latest and greatest here. I just gave a link. There is also a virtual classroom. When I'm not available and when SCORE isn't around, again, if you're up late at night worrying about COVID or whatever it is that keeps you up at night, or if you just really can't sleep and need a boring class, late at night, you can learn about how to use beta.certify.sba.gov. You can learn everything possible you could ever know about our system and how to get registered as a woman-owned small business. There is a 24-hour classroom, including video classes, online classes, and all sorts of Q&As. And that is, again, a hyperlink. If you're in a wicked hurry and you just need a fast document, and or if you are a SCORE counselor and you need something to give out, and or if you're an educator, whatever, if you're a woman-owned small business that happens to find yourself at a women's empowerment meeting or a WeBank meeting or whatever it is that you do that's women's empowerment and women helping women, women sharing women's rah-rah, and you need a 1 second, one sheet. What do I need to remember because I don't feel like reading that website or taking the bunny classes? Here is the one page, one shot. I don't remember anything Jen said, but I remember the horseshoe page. This is the fact sheet. You can find that immediately at that website. The other thing I want to tell you really quick, like Bunny, is we had a couple of changes with 8A. Really, really fast, just to let you know, there is no longer an 8A mentor protege program. It got eaten by the mentor protege program. There is only one mentor protege program now. So if you want to apply for mentor protege, it goes to what used to be all small. That's it. They still have the same reasoning. You still get the business development. You still get the exclusion from the normal affiliation rules. And you still get the ability to bid on contracts that you wouldn't normally get. We did, however, add new termination clauses because we had some problems. Now, if a mentor protege is going really bad, the SBA can step in and break it up. If the protege can't tell us how they're being helped, we can break it up. If the SBA thinks that there's something just not right here, we can break it up. We are tired of just sitting back and seeing some of these run when we know that something is going wrong, but under the previous law, the SBA could not intervene. It was sort of like, unfortunately, some of those abuse cases where people were just sitting, watching it happen, but because of the way the law is written, no one could intervene until the abuse victim stepped up. Here, now, suddenly we can intervene. As promised, this is me, like Kim. I'm available almost all the time. I never take leave. I work almost all the time. As said, I'm the head of government contracting for most of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. All of those are live links in my presentation. I'm always happy to speak to anyone about government contracting. I cover woman-owned small business, veteran-owned small business, HUBZone, and 8A. Thank you very much for taking time out to listen to me this morning. Thank you.
Jennifer, I think I needed a whole seminar just on your topic, even though I know I love hearing from Kim time to time, but what a lot of information you've given us this morning. Thank you very much. Very, very informative. Right now, I have a couple of questions that Kim has already answered one, but I think that she needs to maybe give us a little information on it. And this is about whether PPP is taxable. I know Fran and Mary Beth have already answered and received a response from her, but Kim, do you want to just talk just a couple seconds on taxable information and PPP, please?
Sure. So I'm going to answer in the general sense because everybody's situation is different. And I know everybody will go back and say, well, Kim said this. What you need to understand is that with the PPP program, if you are, it's not taxable on the forgiven portion of the loan. So if you took a loan and you handled it correctly, and you did everything that the law asked of you for the loan, and it's 100% forgiven, then you are not taxed on the forgiven portion, 100% of it. Now, if you took the loan and you used it for purposes other than what we allowed, you're going to have a different situation. So in the general sense, if you have a PPP loan and a portion of it has been forgiven or 100% of it has been forgiven, you are not taxed on the forgiven portion of the loan.
Great. And I know you said for any other information like the state questions about tax to maybe seek an accountant's, information or advice.
You absolutely have to work with your accountant on submitting your taxes this year. If it's going to be tricky and everybody's situation is different. So definitely work with your accountant, prepare your documents. If you've applied for forgiveness in 2020 and you received a forgiven portion of it or 100% of it, it's not taxable. If you used your PPP loan for payroll, rent, interest on mortgage, the allowable things, you'll be fine. If you use the PPP loan for 2 months of rent, you're not allowed to deduct those 2 months of rent on your tax returns. So you need to work with an accountant to make sure that everything is accurate.
Right. While we're staying on that point, Michelle wanted to know for the forgiveness programs, her accountant said that there may be changes coming around forgiveness and the requirements for documentation. Is this correct? Any ideas on timing?
So that's what I kept saying through my my presentation, where this information is accurate and true as for today. We're waiting for the federal government, we're waiting for Senate, we're waiting for Congress, we're waiting for the president to announce any changes that may come. And, you know, we're currently working through the process of bills being proposed, but nothing is out there as of this moment. So stay tuned for updates. If there are changes, you can go to our website and sign up for email updates, sba.gov/PA. You can stay with SCORE, you know, to get updates, but we can't speculate on what is being said. We only know what is true as of today, and you need to hold tight like the rest of us, waiting to see what's going to happen.
Great, thank you. This question may be for Jen and or Kim. Darlene wanted to know, with the year almost ending, is it possible to get, to still get grants? Is there any help or tips on with filing paperwork?
I guess I'll go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Jen. No, go ahead.
First of all, for the record, grants are actually handled not through our agency, but grants are handled through www.grants.gov. However, I will let you know it's not the end of the year for us. Our fiscal year actually runs through the end of September and began on October 1st. So it's not the end of the year for us. You have every chance of getting a grant right now as much as you had a chance of getting a grant a month ago. So you may very much want to check grants.gov. However, depending on what you are looking for grant money for, you may also want to check the city, the state, the county, etc. So if you can reach out, I may be able to point you in the right direction for where you want to be looking. But just be aware that I think your calendar is a little off, and we are not the correct agency for that, but I'd be happy to help you find the people that can.
And in regards to grants for disaster assistance, depending on where you're located is going to be the answer to that. The federal government does not have anything. However, you want to check with your local county or municipality. I do believe that Chester County announced, I think they actually have a program at 10 o'clock this morning about relief programming that they have available. I don't know how it's going to be handled, but in regards to the federal government for disaster assistance, as of right now, no, there are no grants available.
Thank you, Kim and Jim. I do want to make point that one of our chapter chairs, Maria Smith out of Chester, Delco County SCORE, reminded me that SCORE mentors can also provide guidance to applications on how to fill out paperwork for SBA grants and loans. We're here to help you. So you have Chester County collaborating, Chester County, Delco counties. You also have Bucks County, who is a part of our program today. And I'm sure Linda's would agree as well, because she's on our seminar here. So just be mindful that we're here and we have mentors here to help you out with grants and with loans. Thank you, Maria.
Yeah, and Henrietta, if I could just interrupt you too, just going back, it's the Chester County Economic Development Council. They have a Main Street grant webinar that's starting at 10 o'clock this morning, I believe.
Thank you.
So that would be educational for people to find out if they're in Chester County. The other thing I would like to add too is that our district office has worked very closely with our SCORE chapters. We've made sure that our mentors are up to date on the programs, the application, how to assist our small businesses. They've been extremely helpful during this time to help our small businesses understand what to do. So I do encourage all of you to work with a SCORE mentor during this time, especially if you have questions about the application process or the programs. I also know that many of our SCORE chapters have done continuous training and updates on our programs. So definitely stay tuned with SCORE.
Great, thank you. Ralph had a question, is how is disaster loans rate calculated for rental properties? Does it include residential rental properties? Is it based on rental income lost in 2020 and include rental income that was canceled in 2020 that would have begun in 2021?
So with the economic injury disaster loan, when you fill out your application, it's been a long time since I've seen that, but it asks, I think, total revenue for rental property. It does not get very specific, but they also are going to ask to see a tax return at some point in time during the application process. So I believe the initial application, you just put your total rental income in for that business. And it does include both residential rental properties and commercial rental properties.
Great. Thank you, Kim. Karen had a question. Is there any news about continued financial assistance as we go into January? Mine will run out, and I do not think I will be able to completely make payroll yet.
We're still waiting. I'll say that a million times probably in this hour, but we're still waiting to hear from the federal government. They're in talks. We would hope by the end of the week there's new information, but I can't promise that.
Okay, thank you. Jen, I think here's a question for you. My business partner, Pollyanna, wants to know, my business partner is American citizen, 20% owner. I am a woman immigrant, 80% owner.
Already answered that one?
Yeah, did you? I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Go ahead. Well, you said you already took care of that one?
Yeah, I already answered it. Great. It depends on the citizenship of the person that answered.
Okay, wonderful. Oh, I see. Okay, you're right. All right, thank you. Any other questions from our registrants today that we have from our guests?
Well, there is one more that I see in the chat room, Henrietta. It says, if you applied for the EIDL program and was turned down but received the $1,000 advance, is that taxable? And the answer is yes, the advance is taxable income.
Great. Any other late questions? Well, I did see, Kim, that you had, that you made a statement. We're currently waiting on Congress and Senate and the president to see if any updates or changes are being made to the programs or any new programs are created, or if any new programs are created. The information that you've shared is accurate and current as of today. And I know you tell us we're up to date. Today's what you're giving us is what you know as of right now. And to please go to the SBA website, www.sba.gov/PA/PA, and request email updates for any new news or update information on the programs. Is there anything else you ladies would like to share with us other than what the beautiful job that you've done this morning?
Did that address, I'm sorry, did that address your question, Ms. Caravaggio?
Say that again, Jen. Was that to one of our guests today?
That was the young lady who asked me the question about the woman-owned small business that I answered in the notes. I just wanted to make sure that I did answer her question.
Okay.
I believe her name was Ms. Caravaggio.
Okay, great. Okay. I know you ladies have shared your emails So email addresses. So if they have any questions, they can reach out to you. And can you tell us what the Mentor Protege program does and how to apply? Is that you, Jen?
I have an entire presentation on that I would love to share. The quick answer is basically, if you see a company who is what you want to be when you grow up, you can basically put together an agreement where you can work with them on specific aspects of your business that you would like to develop. And under their tutelage and the SBA's oversight, you can work to develop those specific parts of your business. It can be a great way to develop your business. Say in construction, it can be a great way to learn how to prepare bids and things like that. However, it does require an amazing amount of trust in businesses, because you basically roll over and show the soft underbelly of your business, because you have to show another business where your weaknesses are. So it can be very dangerous as well. And if anyone is interested in mentor protege possibilities, please drop me a line. I'd love to speak to you, but this isn't really the venue, because it is a rabbit hole that is, we could go down and get lost, and everyone needs to run to the store and get stuff to make French toast because they said snow on the radio. And the second anyone says snow, everyone runs to get bread and milk and eggs.
I agree. It's a lot. Well, remember, this workshop is recorded and the slides will be emailed to you. I would like to personally thank our speakers, Kim and Jennifer, for doing such an outstanding job today. And also would like to thank our technical support, Charlie Morris. He's with a mentor at the Bucks County SCORE office. I would like to remind everyone to register for our future series as outlined on our SCORE websites. Our next virtual workshop will be on Wednesday, January 13th. Our speaker will be Dr. Jennifer Gardelli. Her topic will be using social media to reach your clients in the new normal. Remember, to find out more about SCORE and how we can help you with your business, please visit us at our websites. This webinar was provided today in collaboration between the Tri-County, Bucks County, Westchester, and Delaware County SCORE chapters. If you would like to be a SCORE mentor, volunteer, subject matter expert, or a workshop presenter, please contact us at our email addresses. If there are no other questions, and I will just check, because we do have about 10 minutes, but if there are no other questions, then I would like to end this seminar today, and thank you, and look forward to seeing you at future seminars. Thank you for attending. Goodbye.